never made it, but I know what it takes. I'm motivated by a mix of emotion. Got my statement, and I'm reading it slow so I can understand it fully. Appreciate my standing, go out of this world and right on time. Oh, never in my life have I seen the sky light up like this. I'm far away from Earth and I wanna know if you exist. Mission control, do you read me? Send me my coordinates lately. Mission control, am I drifting? Tie me to someone who will love me, yeah. Wait, I think I'll last a bit longer. Find another.
Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd family a part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. Today, here on the channel, I'm going to talk some college football, but first, let me say that I am looking forward to seeing some of you tonight at 244 Livestock Road, East Denali, Georgia. Doors open at 6 o'clock. Bell time will be 7 o'clock for live pro wrestling, a tribute to Austin Collins. Hopefully I will see a lot of you there. We're going to be having some raffle ticket drawings giveaway, and all the money will go to the family of Austin Collins. But today, as I said, I want to talk some college football, and more specifically, some 2024 SEC football schedules. Now, starting in 2024, there'll be 16 teams in the conference. Now, I'm not going to talk about all 16 teams today because I feel like that's too much at one time. So I'm going to talk about 8 today, and then probably one day, either next week or the week after, I'll talk about the other 8 teams. But let me say, I've already talked to a Georgia fan, and I've already talked to an Alabama fan, and of course they both said, our schedule's the toughest, ours is the hardest. And I told both of them, shut up, I don't want to hear that. Every fan base says that. Just like every single fan base in America, when you watch any type of a college football pregame show, if they say anything bad about your team, every fan base in America says, oh, they hate us. They all hate us. But no, they have opinions. Not everything they say is going to be favored towards your team. But that's how most fan bases are. Just like right now, I won't say the school, but there is a certain school that has had 300 speeding violations in the past few months on campus or right off the campus, and it's included 2 deaths. And you know what's happened? Absolutely nothing. But most of the fans of that team say, oh, it's okay, they're young, they make mistakes. To most fan bases, most of their fans, your star quarterback could go out right now and murder 15 people, and most fans would say, oh, it's okay, he's young. All young folks make dumb mistakes. Because that's the beauty to most people of college football, is most fans are hardcore, and you don't care what your team does as long as they're winning. And I can say that because as a Clemson fan, Clemson had one player a few years back get 1 speeding ticket. And what did he get? He got suspended for multiple games. Not one game, not multiple games. Because he did wrong, he had to get punished. So one kid got 1 ticket and got suspended for multiple games. That's how coaches that really want to stop stuff, stop stuff. But unfortunately, most coaches don't care, and most fans don't care as long as their team is winning. So I told the Georgia fan and the Bama fan, be quiet. Everybody says that. Every fan base in America, every year, when a schedule comes out, if it's anything different than what you want to see, oh, ours is the toughest. Ours is the hardest. Plus, 2024 is only for 1 year because we know by now that the SEC stands for sorry excuse for a conference, so they can't make any decisions. So next year's schedule, as of right now, is a 1 year thing. We still don't know if they're going to have common opponents. Are they going to have the pods? We still don't know. So all we know is the 2024 schedule, as of right now, looks like a 1 year thing. So let's go ahead and talk about the 8 teams I'm going to talk about today. Now, feel free to get on each one of these teams' websites and find out exactly which teams they play at home, which teams are on the road. I just feel like that's too much. The most important thing is which 8 teams you're going to play. And first, we'll talk about the Georgia Bulldogs. Now, before I tell you which 8 conference games they're going to have, let me say that they're going to be 0-1 because they're going to lose to Clemson in the first game of 2024. But as far as in conference, they're going to play Auburn, Mississippi State, Florida, Tennessee, Alabama, Kentucky, Ole Miss, and Texas. The Alabama Crimson Tide are going to play Georgia, South Carolina, Auburn, Tennessee, LSU, Oklahoma, Missouri, and Vanderbilt. The South Carolina Gamecocks play Ole Miss, LSU, Missouri, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Alabama, Vanderbilt, and Kentucky. The Tennessee Volunteers play Alabama, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Vanderbilt, and Mississippi State. The Florida Gators will play Kentucky, LSU, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Georgia, Mississippi State, Tennessee, and Texas. And the Auburn Tigers will play Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas A&M, Vanderbilt, Alabama, Georgia, Kentucky, and Missouri. The LSU Tigers will play Alabama, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Vanderbilt, Arkansas, Florida, South Carolina, and Texas A&M. And Texas A&M will play Arkansas, Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss, South Carolina, Auburn, LSU, and Mississippi State. As I said, feel free to get on each one of those teams' websites and you can look at the 2024 schedule and it will tell you which teams are home, which teams are away. But I feel like that's useless because it's a year and a half away. You're going to forget by next year. Plus, considering the fact we don't know whether or not this is just next year's schedule or will you play these same 8 teams in 2025, just the ones that's home next year will be away in 25 and vice versa. But it really doesn't matter. The point is, these are the 8 teams that you're playing, and of course, it's so far away that none of them are announced yet as far as when you're going to play them. It's just these are the 8 teams you're going to play. Of course, you'll play 4 at home and 4 away. I just mentioned Georgia's non-conference game to open up next year against Clemson so that all Georgia fans know they'll be 0-1 when they head into conference play if they start conference play in week 2 next year, because as of right now, we do not know. Any thoughts on any of this, please feel free to let me know. And I know I heard some Georgia fans already saying, oh, our schedule's the toughest. Oh, it's hard. We got to play all those teams. We'll be lucky to go 8-4. And I said, well, you can't complain about it. You've been complaining for 15 dadgum years, talking about wanting to play Oklahoma, wanting to play Texas, and now you play them. So if they beat you, you can't whine about it. You can't whine about wanting to play them and then whine because they beat you. It's one or the other. Do you want to play them or do you not? Make your mind up. You can't have it both ways. And of course, Bama fans are saying, "Oh, we got the toughest one," but really nobody knows because we don't know what's coming after next year because they still haven't said. Supposedly in June of next year when they have their summer meetings, they're going to announce what they're going to do with the schedule starting in 2025. But that was a look at Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina, Tennessee, Florida, Auburn, LSU, and Texas A&M. One day next week or the week after, hopefully we can talk about the other 8 teams in the SEC and what their schedules look like in 2024. Homes for Our Troops is a publicly funded 501c nonprofit organization that builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post 9/11 veterans. Since the 2004 inception, nearly 90 cents of every dollar spent has gone directly to our program services for veterans. Visit at hfotusa.org. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. What do you call a king's rabbit? The heir to the throne. And that does it for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.